Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you how to draft this bustier pattern with bra cups. Let's get started. First, these are the measurements you will be needing. Take a rope, tie it around your waist and feel where it folds in when you bend. That's your natural waistline. You want to tie a rope there and then measure from your shoulder to your apex point. Write that down. Also your shoulder to your empire and then your shoulder to your waist measurement. Then you're going to measure around your waist, around your empire, which is your underbust, and also around your bust. Now you're going to measure your apex to apex measurement. Now we're going to begin drafting. I just went ahead and drew a line at the top of my paper, and I'm measuring from the top of that line my shoulder to bust measurement, shoulder to empire, and shoulder to waist. You want to square that line out. And you want to take your bust circumference as around your bust measurement and divide that measurement by 2. For me, I'm working with 33, bust 33. So I'm dividing that into 2, and I'm placing that measurement down on my paper, which is 16.5. I'm putting that measurement down at the bust line and also on the waistline. And I'm going to square that down. Now the reason we're dividing in 2 is because we're drafting both the front and back at once. Now I'm just indicating my center back line and my center front line. Once that's done, you want to take your apex measurement, which is apex to apex, divide that by 2, and you're going to place that down, measuring from your center front line. Put down 1/2 of that measurement. For me, it's 3 inches and 3/4. Now I'm going to square that line upwards and extend the line towards the shoulder. Once that's done, you want to take the measurement of the remaining area, which is from your apex line to your center back, and divide that measurement by 4. You want to put 1/4 of that measurement on that line and then square a line from bottom to top. Here I'm just going ahead to extend some of the lines which I won't be needing as we go ahead, so I'm going to take that off. Then I'm going to label the panels A, B, C, D, E. Now on your waistline, you want to take your waist circumference measurement and divide that by 2. For me, I'm working with 25 divided by 2. I have 12 inch and 3/4. Place that measurement down on your waistline and then measure the excess. Now this excess, we're going to place that excess between each that leg. So for the apex line, I'm placing down 1/2 inch and then 3/4 of an inch on the rest of the panels. Now I'm going to repeat the same thing for the empire line, taking my empire circumference measurement, which is the underbust, divide that by 2, place that measurement down on your empire line, mark that down, measure the excess, and divide that excess around all the panels. So for my apex, I'm doing 1¼ inch, and then 1/2 inch for panel B, and then 1/2 inch for panel C, and then 5/8 inch for panel D and E. Now I'm going to take my ruler and connect those points from waist to empire. Now for the apex line, I'm going to leave that under the empire, and then extend the rest of the dots to the bust line. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and work on the cup of the bustier. Now I'm just measuring the radius of my bust, which is 3 inches, marking that 3 inches from the apex line all around the bust area, using my curved ruler to draw a circle. Now if you have bigger boobs, you want to extend that line further. For me, at the center front, I'm just going out by 1/4 inch, using my curved ruler to draw that line, that curve back into my radius. And also on the side, same, I'm going out by 3/4 inch, and then using my curved ruler to draw out the radius. Now if you have bigger boobs, like I was saying before, what you want to do is work with your apex to under bust measurements so it fits nicely for you. Now at the side cup, I'm just going up by 1/2 inch here, and this mark I later reduced to 1/4 inch. From my apex point, I'm measuring up 2.5 inches, and then at my center front, I'm going up from that apex line 3/4 inch, and then going in by 3/8 inch. Now I'm going to extend that center front curve to the 3/8 inch line I just marked. Now that that's done, I'm going to take out excess from the cup, like contour the cup area. Now if I was working with a normal bodice block, I will take out 1 inch from the apex line, and then take out 1/2 inch from the side seam. But since I'm not working with the block, I decided to use 2 inches, take out 2 inches as my contour. Now I suggest if you have fuller boobs, you should take out maybe 1.5 inches and do a test fit first to see how it fits for you. If it fits loose, then you can take out more excess. But if it's too tight, then maybe you should reduce that to like 1 inch or so. Now I'm using my curved ruler, mark out that point, curve that line, that contour line, and here I'm just reducing the height of the side seam by 1/4 inch. Now I'm going to use my ruler and connect the center front to the 2.5 inch we had made above the apex point, and then also connect that to the side seam. Here I'm just closing the dot so I can mark where it meets the other panel, just so that when I sew this pattern, one cup doesn't sit higher than the other, or one panel doesn't sit higher than the other. Taking my curved ruler, I'm just going to adjust that line. Now this shaded part is the excess we'll be taking out and won't be needing. At the apex point, I'm coming down by 1 inch and I'm going to use my curved ruler to connect that line to the empire. The shaded parts are the dots we'll be taking out when we trace out this pattern and add our seam allowances. And also from the cup at the side seam, I'm just straightening my line, making a nice smooth curve from the side seam to the center back. Now once that's done, I'm dividing my cup into 3, so there's the top part and then the bottom 2 panels. Now from that apex line, I went down by 1/2 inch on both sides. From the bust line, I went down by 1/2 inch from center front and also at the side seam, and I'm connecting that line with a soft curve to the apex point. Then I decided to drop the center back. I made the center back measured 6 inches from the center back going upwards, and then I'm connecting that curve, that line from the bust cup to the center back. Now this next measurement is not needed if you want to attach a zip to your center back, but if you want to attach ropes, I don't remember what it's called right now, but you want to use ropes as the closure for the center back, you will want to reduce your center back. For me, I went from the waistline, I went in 2 inches, and then at the top went in 1.5 inches. But if you're going to be adding a zip closure, you don't need that. Here I'm just going ahead to relabel my panels. I did the underbrow cup A and B to match the bottom panel, and then for the top I wrote down F. Now that goes into the bra cup, please remember to eliminate that when you're retracing this pattern. That's the under cup B. When you're retracing that panel, please remember to take out that. Here I'm just going in to add my notches. Now I'm going to retrace. I cut out my cup for the bustier and I'm retracing it on the paper and adjusting the curves of the cup. I took out the dot for the F top cup, and I'm just going in to draw soft curves on the bottom of that line. Now the reason I'm doing this is so when I attach the panel F to panel A and B, it sits nicely and has a nice smooth curve to accommodate the fullness of the breast. Once you're done with that, mark your center and then add your seam allowances. I'm repeating the same process for the cup A and the cup B. Just going now to trace around the cup. Now where this notch is at the apex point, if you want a fuller cup, you can curve that line outwards. But for me, I'm choosing not to add any curve to that line because sometimes it creates a weird puckering that I don't like. At this point here, you could add a small curve if you want. And here I'm just going ahead to remove that dot that went into my bust cup. Cut it out and close it and redraw the line. Once that's done, you can go ahead, add your same allowances around your cup and cut that out also. Now these are the panel pieces, pattern pieces you'll be needing. I have my center front, which will be cut on fold, cut 2 of it, panel B, cut 2, C, D, E, cut 2, and cup A and B, you're going to cut 4 of cup A, 4 of cup B, and then 4 of cup F. The reason we're cutting 4 is because we'll be that cup pattern pieces need facing. Now for the center back, like I said, if you want to add rope closure to it, you could just fold that pattern in and you're good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel.